सीताराम लक्ष्मण जी की जय, भक्त हनुमान की जय, विजय दशमी महोत्सव महामहोत्सव की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गोप्यमानंदे. Begin with a small prayer seeking Lord Rama's blessings. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today is a very auspicious day for all the devotees of Lord Ram, as the Supreme Lord is always victorious over anything and everything, because the Lord never faces any defeat, and that is the position of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Rama, whatever sankalpa he does, whatever ambition, goal, desire he has, is always fulfilled by his own potency. And he is ever victorious over everything. Mainly he is victorious. He conquers his devotees and brings them under his shelter. Lord Rama's main intention and purpose of his incarnation was to teach us how to revive our lost connection with him and take us back with him. In fact, the word Ramayana, you know why it is coined, this word Ramayana, how this word, this term is being used. Ramayana actually means Rama Ayana, how to become nearer and closer to Lord Rama. That's exactly the meaning of Ramayana. That's why Valmiki has given this title to Ramayana. Interestingly, if you see the purpose of his creation, as Srila Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita, and even Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, the main intention of creating this world is to give all the jivas in this world an opportunity to revive their connection and relationship with Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, our original, eternal Father. Although we have many parents in this world who are instrumental for us to come to this world, but originally Lord Rama, Lord Krishna is actually our ultimate Father. So the purpose of this creation is actually to give us an opportunity to revive our forgotten relationship with the Supreme Lord, for which Ramayana was spoken, the entire Ramayana was spoken, entire Gita was spoken by the Lord to Arjun, an entire Bhagavatam was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. How we can know our lost connection with the Lord and get reconnected and become completely happy. So that is actually Ramayana. So the whole purpose of Ramayana is this. And interestingly, it is said that Valmiki wrote Ramayana how? Abhiramasya Ramasya. In this state of consciousness, he wrote the entire Ramayana. The entire Ramayana was revealed to him. Abhiramasya Ramasya. When he was absorbed completely in the ecstasy of Lord Rama's Katha, Guna, Leela, Charita, the Lord's birth, appearance, pastimes, wonderful prowess, heroic activities, when he was absorbed upon Lord Rama, that was the state in which he could write Ramayana. And he was blessed by Brahmaji, to whom he prayed. And by the blessings of Lord Brahma, The entire Ramayana was revealed to Valmiki. And even before the advent of Lord Rama, Ramayana was written. So if somebody thinks it is just a mythological text, which is not true. If it were so, how could, if it was just the imagination of Valmiki to glorify, to exemplify, to eulogize Rama, if somebody thinks like that, it is just a story, not a reality, a mythology. Actually, as I just said, Ramayana was written much before Lord Rama's advent. And whatever event he has described in Ramayana came to be true very soon. And we all know that. The word Puran in Sanskrit actually means old history. Puranas, Itihasas, these are all case histories describing the Lord. Just like in a medical text, there's a subject on heart surgery, on cancer, on so many subjects about how to treat thyroid glands, etc. And there is also a case history to refer those cases in reality how actually the operation is done practically. It's called case history. So they add some case histories also. Similarly, these along with the text of the Vedas, the four Vedas, and the Bhagavad Gita, there is also the support of the Puranas and Itihasas to actually give us a feel of the Supreme Lord and what is being spoken in the Vedas. Text may be there, but unless you see with your eyes, just like there's a saying, seeing is believing, isn't it? So unless we see with our eyes, how do we experience in our present senses? So that is the purpose of this great itihasas or epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the support of Puranas. It is said that the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Puranas are supposed to be the sister of the Vedas. The Vedas are construed with the brother, and they are the sisters, supportive. So, Valmiki, actually the original author of Ramayana is Valmiki Rishi. It's a great devotee of Lord Rama. The authorized version of Ramayana is actually from Valmiki Rishi. So after his realization of Rama, he wrote Ramayana. It was not some imagination or speculation. And Valmiki says, there's an interesting verse by Valmiki in Ramayana. I'll just read out. Kamartha guna samyuktam dharmasrita guna vistaram samudram iva ratnadhyam sarva shruti manoharam. So in this verse, Valmiki, the original author of Ramayana, intends to say, in my literature or description of Lord Ram in the form of Ramayana, in this epic, there will be very less importance given to Kama and Artha. Because there is much, much more to treasure from Dharma and Moksha. In comparison to what you can derive from Dharma and Moksha, what you can derive from Kama and Artha is very insignificant. Actually, people don't know this. We are generally those who are pious thereafter fulfilling their desires and for which you require Aishwarya, Artha. But they're all peanuts. In comparison to what you can attain by association with the Supreme Lord, what you can attain by being absorbed in the thought of the Supreme Lord. Just like the difference between the sky and the land, that much difference. Valmiki Rishi gives a very beautiful example in this regard to better appreciate. He says, Dharmartha guna vistaram samudram iva ratnadhyam sarvashtuti manoharam. He says, but actually, in an ocean, if you're only swimming on the surface of the ocean, You will not get the treasures which are to be derived from the ocean. On the surface level, you may get some conch shells, some bones, that's all. But if you dive deep into the ocean, the more deeper you go, you will be able to touch or come upon Ratnadhyam. Ratna is the real treasure of the ocean. Valuable gems you can collect from by going deep into the ocean. Similarly, simply if one moves on the surface of Ramayana or superficially one reads Ramayana, not very absorbed, very serious, just casually if one is reading Ramayana, then he may get some kama artha benefits. But if one goes deep into Ramayana and becomes a serious devotee of Ramayana, then he'll be able to touch the valuable jewels which Ramayana wants to offer to us, which is actually Lord Rama's lotus feet, sheltered at the lotus feet of Lord Rama, eternal shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Rama. This is considered to be most precious and valuable jewels. So this is Valmiki's intention in making us devotees of Lord Rama. And Lord Vishnu is the original Rama. Lord Vishnu has got many incarnations, and one of them is Rama. And Lord Vishnu, we all being his children, that is why one more name, just like Ramayana, Narayana. What does it mean? It means that the ultimate shelter of all jivas is actually of all Nara. Nara means human being, Ayana means shelter. So Narayana actually means the ultimate shelter of all human beings is Narayana. So the original Rama is Narayana, who is Vishnu, and the original Narayana is Krishna. So, therefore, Ramayana, Narayana, both mean the same. How to get shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu, which is the highest achievement and perfection in human life. The Krishna also describes the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that Yad Gatva Nanivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. By attaining my abode, you achieve the highest perfection in life. By attaining me, you have achieved the highest perfection in life. Nothing more to be achieved in life, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So you can see similarities in all the scriptures, Vedic literatures. There's no contradiction. Now, what is extraordinary about Ramayana? Valmiki describes like this. He says, the first extraordinary feature of Ramayana is that you can collect valuable pearls, gems, and jewels in the form of the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Rama. So that you can get only from Ramayana and not from any other source in this world. To attain to the lotus feet of Lord Rama, Ramayana or similar such literature is the only route. So that's the extraordinary qualification and potency of hearing Ramayana from devotees. That you are sure, just by hearing Ramayana, you are sure to attain the lotus feet of Lord Rama. In the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10 and 11 describes Lord Rama's pastimes, as described by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj and Suta Goswami to Shaunakadi Rishis. And Prabhupada explains very wonderfully. We don't have time to discuss all those pastimes. I will just touch upon the glories of Ramayana, and being inspired, you can read the 10th and 11th chapters from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam by Prabhupada to further be inspired. So the first extraordinary quality of Ramayana is that Samudram Ivaratnadhyam. So if you go deep into Ramayana, then you start enjoying and relishing Lord Rama, Rama's Katha, etc. Then Ramayana itself, by itself, is extraordinary. The extraordinary character of Ramayana, it is described प्राप्तात् राजस्य रामस्य वाल्मीकिर् भगवान् ऋषि चकार चरितं कृत्स्नं विचित्रं पदमात् padamatmama. That means the literature itself is very, very uniquely composed by Valmiki. Very specially composed by Valmiki. It's a beautiful, it's an epitome of poetry. Then, the person who is describing, namely Valmiki, himself is very extraordinary. See, to describe something valuable, an equally valuable person should describe. Then only it will get its due value, isn't it? An important subject, we always expect an important person to deliver it. So Ramayana being a very, very important, very extraordinary literature, it requires another extraordinary person to deliver that to the world. And that is Valmiki, a chosen person by the Lord and even blessed by Brahma, a great Acharya, Vaishnava, to write this Ramayana. Now, how does Ramayana become very special and very great? How does it become worthy of hearing? There are so many subjects which one can hear about in this world. Nunam santi sahasrashaha, but apashyatam atmatattvam griheshu grihamedina. It is described in the Bhagavatam that there are thousands and thousands of subjects in this world, subjects for hearing. Then what makes Ramayana special? If you Google, so people are pulled by so many subjects. Then what is the special feature of Ramayana? What makes something worthy to be heard? So that is described. There are four characteristics of any literature to be worthy to be read, heard, spoken, meditated, remembered upon. What are those four special qualities of a literary work? It is said it should be composed such kind of work if it is worthy to be heard. A literature is to be worthy if it is to be worthy to be heard, then it has to be composed by someone who is supremely trustworthy. He simply speaks the truth. Such a person who simply speaks the truth all his life, one whom we can trust 100%. If it is his composition, it is worthy to be heard. Then the character in the literary work should be of a very special importance. He must be a great hero. He must be supremely worshipable. Then the subject matter becomes worthy to be heard. That's number two. Then number three, such literatures, if they are of such value, then they will be spoken by great recognized personalities in the world. Otherwise, why will they speak? If the literature is worthy of hearing, then such worthy literatures will be spoken by great persons of this world. Therefore, we see Ramayana, Mahabharata, great acharyas have written commentaries, have given explanations, time and again. Not ordinary persons, great acharyas, stalwarts, great stalwart saints, highly realized souls, constantly had been describing Ramayana and Mahabharata about Lord Krishna, Lord Rama. If it was not worthy to be heard, to be described, why will great persons choose that subject? That's the third reason. The fourth reason is the subject matter must be pious enough to be discussed, heard, and propagated. It must be worthy of pious glorification. Otherwise, what is the use? Just like Prabhupada explains in Bhagavatam, There were two famous Arjunas in the history, bygone history. One is Kartavirya Arjuna, the other is the Pandava Arjuna. Both were great warriors, Kshatriyas. But among them, Arjuna is highly glorified and remembered and appreciated even by great acharyas. Why? Because Arjuna is a celebrated devotee of Lord Krishna. Apart from being a great warrior, which is his personal material Vyavaharik trait, which even Kartavirya Arjuna had. But Arjuna is especially glorified. Similarly, if you see, the whole Mahabharata episode has come about because Krishna wanted to enthrone Yudhishthira Maharaj as the emperor of the world. But Prabhupada explains in the first canto, one of the chapters, that actually even Duryodhana was doing good in terms of administration. But still, Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to become the emperor and rule the world because Krishna wants devotees to rule the world. Because devotees are selfless, detached. They always think of the highest welfare of every jiva. They are selfless, not selfish. So their very existence and living is simply for the welfare of everything created in this world. Loka Kalyana. Therefore, and they're always meditating how the people can become Krishna conscious, how this world itself can become Vaikuntha under their ruling by bringing Krishna, Rama in the midst of our life. That was their thinking. So they want that people be materially happy by the blessings of Krishna and Rama. So therefore, Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to become the emperor. So therefore, even among Yudhishthira and Duryodhana, although they were good in ruling, still Yudhishthira was preferred. So like this we can see, the person, the subject must be worthy of glorification, must be pious, not just some exhibition of power and opulence. No, there must be piety behind everything. There must be purity behind everything. That piety and purity is automatically brought about if one is absorbed in Rama consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So this is the unique feature of Ramayana. Then another unique feature of Ramayana is Valmiki wants to present Lord Rama as Parama Purushottam, the supreme personality of Godhead. You can see throughout Ramayana, in all the kandas, Lord Rama, with proof, with reference to context from different kandas, and even by realization of different personalities, he proves and confirms Lord Rama as the supreme personality of Godhead. And he is the Param Satya, as Vyasadeva describes in the first verse of Bhagavatam itself. Satyam Param Dhimahi. I meditate on the Satyam Param, the supreme truth, which is Vasudeva Krishna. The same Vasudeva Krishna is again appearing as Lord Rama, who is also Param Satya. So therefore, you can see again a similarity in Bhagavatam, Ramayana. The Acharyas are always focused on the greatest hero, the greatest personality, Purusha Uttama. That's why the word is used, Purusha Uttama, the best of the personalities, topmost among all personalities. So their focus is always on the supreme person, a glorious person. Glorious because of many, many reasons. His own character, his kindness, his compassion, his mercy, his power, his opulence, his knowledge, his wisdom. So Lord is a reservoir of all wonderful, desirable qualities. Therefore, is worshipable. So it is upon that Param Satya, the Lord with wonderful traits and qualities, which the acharyas meditate upon and like to share about those great lords. And by hearing about them, we also can attain to their lotus feet. So that is the purpose of Bhagavatam, Ramayana, etc. Now, as I described, because the Shastra is such that whatever is being spoken, a pramana will be provided. Evidence and proof will be supported always. Whenever a statement is made in the scriptures, the pramana will be provided. That makes it very logical, very convincing, very reasonable to accept, as opposed to mythology where you can't prove things because it is simply imagination of some writer, some novelist. But this is not just a novel. So, now, one of the aspects or highlights in Ramayana is that Valmiki used the word called abhyasaha. That means abhyasa means practice. Abhyasa also means practice means repetition. Abhyasa means practice. Practice means repetition. So repeatedly, Valmiki in Ramayana gives many instances to show how Lord Rama is Parama Purushottama. He is ever victorious. He is ever the supreme. And it is said, if any subject is repeated, why it is repeated? Because it is important. It is being stressed. That's an evidence. It's a pramana. Just like in the court, the judge says, sometimes they say order, 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 or something which is being spoken 3 times. It means its importance is stressed. You cannot neglect. You cannot avoid what is being spoken. You have to take it seriously. So that's what the intended meaning of repeatedly saying something. It's not a flaw in description. It is to stress the importance. Just like it is described about Harinam in Kali Yuga. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way of deliverance. Becoming free from karma and getting moksha prapti, other than chanting Hari's name, chanting Hari's name, chanting Hari's name. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya stressed the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the basis. It is stressed 3 times. Chanting only the Lord's holy name is the only means of deliverance in Kali Yuga. So, therefore, you can see again a repetition between the acharyas. Even Valmiki says the same thing. Repeatedly, he goes on to prove Lord Rama as the Param Purushottama. That means you have to consider, you cannot neglect his words. And then he goes on to explain. Now, first reference is from Balakanda. Very interesting reference. In Balakanda, Brahma glorifies Lord Rama as the Supreme Lord. This is the first pramana. And in glorifying Lord Rama as the Supreme Lord, the instance of Ramayana is brought about. When Lord Rama was born, he was a small boy. He was a small boy, Balaka, the son of the great Dasharath Maharaj, who had the fortune of having the Supreme Lord as his own son. Just imagine, not just one son, all the 4 sons were Vishnu Rupa, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. They were actually, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the incarnations of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, who are the expansions of Krishna. So Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, they are not ordinary jivas. They are the category of Vishnu, Vishnu Tattva. They are the category of the Supreme Lord, not jiva. So, but Dasharath Maharaj always considered Ram, Lakshman to be his dear children. Just like Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj considered Krishna and Balaram to be their dear children, but not as the Supreme Lord. So also Dasharath Maharaj. So that They can enjoy Vatsalya Rasa with the Supreme Lord. So, as we all have heard Ramayana, Vishwamitra comes to Dashath Maharaj because he was planned to perform some sacrifice. And as we all know, the Asuras always disturb the sacrifices in so many ways. So Vishwamitra wanted the help of somebody very powerful to protect the sacrificial arena so that the yajnas are performed without any disturbance. So he goes to the uh, kingdom of Dashath Maharaj, approaches the emperor, and he requests him to bless him. Dashath Maharaj says, "What blessing you want? What do you want from me? Ask anything, I will deliver it to you instantly." Like that. Then Vishwamitra said, "Really? True? Are you sure? You not go back on your word?" "Oh, I am very sure. You ask me what do you want from all the three worlds. I'll deliver you instantly. You want my entire kingdom? You want my 60,000 soldiers along with me? I will come to you. What do you want?" So he asks his son Rama. Dashath Maharaj was taken aback. He was shocked. He said, "No, impossible." "Vishwamitra, impossible. I cannot give you my son. He is so small. His shoulders are so tender. He's a balaka. And then you want my son to come to protect the sacrificial arena against the Asuras who are so powerful, so deadly, dreadful, malicious demons. You want my son to face them? He is not even in a position to lift a bow. So small he is. So, are you not very sensitive to even make this offer? Are you not sensible?" He said, "I would myself personally come with all my soldiers if you desire so, but accept my son." Then Dashath Maharaj described his dear son as Rajiva Lochana. That's why we see uh, uh, one of the names of Lord Rama is Rajiva Lochana. Very beautiful name. Rajiva Lochana means one who is lotus eyed. Now, Acharyas have described Rajiva Lochana actually means just like a Rajiva means lotus, Lochana means eyes, lotus eyed. So, the inner meaning of Dashath Maharaj using the word Rajiv Lochana, referring to his son, to Vishwamitra, in this situation is he meant to say, "My son is Rajiva Lochana," meaning this is like a lotus. It closes its petals when the sun sets. Similarly, my child is very small. He sleeps every day. When the evening dawns, when the sun sets, my son goes to bed. And these asuras are awake that time only. Night duty fellows. Hmm? Night shift fellows. But my son sleeps night time. So how will he fight? What is the use of taking my son? These asuras become active at night. But my son will sleep off. He will take rest. He's a balak. So what benefit will he do to you? Basically, Dashath Maharaj is trying to divert Vishwamitra's attention and not send his son, giving various reasons. Then Vishwamitra said, "Really? Your son sleeps at night? He is very small, very young, having tender shoulders, cannot lift a bow? I don't think so. You are telling me who's Rama? My dear Maharaj, you are telling me who's Rama? You think I don't know the identity of Rama? Oh, don't tell me who is this small boy." Then at this point, Vishwamitra says, "I know who is Lord Rama. He is Parama Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing as your son. And even as a Balaka, he is always the Supreme Lord. He is always the Supreme Lord with all the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't tell me that your son is a small boy and he sleeps at night. Then he went on to say, Lord Rama, he never sleeps. He is awake, Jagrat, 24 by 7. He never goes to rest. If the Lord rests, the entire universe is finished, will be devastated. So the Lord never rests. He is always alert. So like that Vishwamitra went on to say to Dashrath Maharaj. So one argument he gave. Then he gave one more proof to convince Dashrath Maharaj. You're not able to believe, isn't it? My dear Maharaj, I am seeing that you're not able to believe my words, that your son is the Supreme Lord. And to protect the sacrificial arena is a very small thing for him. But you're not believing me, isn't it? That he is the Supreme Lord. Then he went on to say, your Guru Vashishta, my dead enemy. Vashishta and Vishwamitra always were in duel, always were in the fighting mode. And particularly Vashishta and Vishwamitra, their fighting was always with weapons, not with words. They never discussed. Sometimes even there's a verbal disagreement. Among scholars, there's disagreement. Whenever Vishwamitra and Vashishta met, the fighting was not by speech or by Shastri disagreement, straight with weapons only. Always it has been like that. But Vishwamitra said, even though we always differed, we always fought with each other, but only on one matter in our entire life, we agree, we consent. What is that? We agree only on one point, that Lord Rama is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Other than this point, we disagree on every other subject. Your Guru is here only. Ask him. He's sitting right there. So, this is another instance where it is proved that Lord Rama is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great person. Then, one more instance, Valmiki quotes. In Mother Sita's marriage, during Mother Sita's marriage, in Mithila, again there was a discussion about who is the Supreme Lord. Again it was declared Lord Rama is the Supreme Lord. This description is there in Valmiki Ramayana. Then again there's one more instance, an endorsement, an evidence from Lord Parashurama. Lord Parashurama was there even during Lord Rama's time, Lord Krishna's time, and even in Kali Yuga, all the three yugas Parashurama have been existing. So Parashurama also, in one of the conversations, described Lord Rama as Agradeva. That means the original, the primal God. Among all the 33 crore devatas, he is the primal God. The supreme worshipable God among the gods. So Parashurama also endorsed Lord Rama as the supreme Parama Purushottama. So this is in Balakanda. Then Ayodhya Kanda also, there's a reference by the Devatas, prayers, wherein it is indicated Lord Rama as the Supreme Lord. Then Aranya Kanda, the third reference, is an interesting episode about Lord Rama's greatness and glories. Because today we have assembled to discuss about Lord Rama's glories, his glorious position, his powerful position, how he is always victorious. And if Lord Rama is implanted in our heart, there is no place for evil. This is exactly victory of good over evil. Sometimes we see in YouTube victory of good over evil. But actually, this is possible only by placing Lord Rama, Lord Krishna upon your lotus heart. There's no other way possible. We will also understand that in the course. In Aranyakanda, there's a very nice reference by Shurpanaka. You'll be surprised. Even demons sometimes realize the Supreme Lord's position. But the only problem is, even though they may come to know, they will still not bow down and surrender to the Lord and follow him. Even after knowing him as the Supreme Lord, they disagree to surrender to him and follow him and take his shelter. That is the defect of the Asuras. So Shurpanaka, She proposed to Lord Rama. Imagine an Asura, and as she is so ugly in her personal features and even in her qualities. See, generally a person is beautiful by either his physical form or by his wonderful qualities, character. A person becomes beautiful. But Asura means, like Shurpanaka, physically she was also not very attractive, and she was made more ugly by her nose being cut off by Lakshmana, and her qualities were also demoniac. And imagine an Asura proposing the Supreme Lord, supremely pure, supremely beautiful, and she wants to marry him? Impossible. Anyway, Lord Rama said, I have my wife Sita. Then she proposed Lakshmana. Lakshmana said, you're a fool number one. You want my hand? He became so angry and then he cut off her nose. And then she goes to Ravana, her brother. During this episode, she saw Mother Sita. Oh my God, she was completely out of the world, taken out of this world. Looking at Mother Sita's transcendental beauty, never ever she has seen such exquisite beauty in creation. Because Mother Sita is not a creation of this world, is not a creation of Brahma. Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Shrimati Radharani, all these great personalities, they're not creations of Brahma. They all belong to the spiritual world, having no material origin. They're eternal personalities. Hmm? So, uh, Shurpanaka, when her nose was being cut off, being upset, she runs to Ravan and she described what all happened. But one important point to be noted here is she described something important. Important. She said to her brother, my dear brother, Ravan, there is no one as beautiful as Mother Sita. And she told Ravan, you will certainly be attracted to Sita if you see her. And she said, my dear Ravan, you may have enjoyed thousands and thousands of beautiful women. Apart from having Mandodari, who's as beautiful as Parvati, still, yet, there's no comparison to Mother Sita's beauty. And Ravan said, no, not at all, impossible. I have the most beautiful woman in my kingdom, most loveliest woman in my kingdom to enjoy with. I don't think there can be anybody more beautiful than who are in my kingdom. Then, even without seeing Sita, even by the very description of Mother Sita's beautiful features, spoken by Shurpanaka, Ravana's 10 heads got excited for the first time ever in his life. All his 10 heads simultaneously got excited. All his senses became invigorated. He was surprised. Oh my God, even this very description looks to be very, very appealing and attractive and pulling. Then Ravana ordered Mariji, immediately you go to Lord Ram and abduct Mother Sita and get her to me, to my kingdom. Capture Lord Ram, go as a deer and capture Lord Ram and kidnap Mother Sita. So then Mariji says, my dear Lord, my dear sir, my dear Lord Ravan, if, forgive me, even if you come, if you have to face Ram, you have 10 heads. If you want to return back with the 10 heads safely, never even in dream try to oppose Ram's moves, Ram's plans. And what to speak of getting his wife to your kingdom, and that too for you to enjoy. Possible feat, Ravana. Please take it from me. I'm very serious about it. So you will not be, even you will not be able to return with the 10 heads if you face Ram, if you go against Ram. You are Indra of the Rakshasas. You are so great, so glorious. Your position is already glorious. You have crores of beautiful women in your kingdom to enjoy with. You have so much of opulence, enjoyment. Just enjoy life. Why you want to take this risk of getting Mother Sita? Huh? What do you want to enjoy? Sita, when you already have thousands and thousands of women to enjoy with. And he said, you have two enjoyable things, Dara and Daru. Dareshu means beautiful woman, not one, multiple, plural number. You have, as I said, he had crores of beautiful women in his kingdom to enjoy with. Dara, wife, and others, other women to enjoy with. And Daru means liquor. You have wonderful opportunity of riches, liquor, golden palace, beautiful woman running around for you to enjoy with. What else? Just enjoy. You want to put an end to your enjoyment and bring in misery to yourself? He warned Rama. Ramasya Nityam, enjoy. And let Lord Rama enjoy that one Sita. You have thousands to enjoy. Leave alone this man called Ram. Leave alone this man and his wife. He has one Sita, let him enjoy. You have many to enjoy. Ravan said, I have not come to hear your instructions. Okay? Then he said, Marichi said, no, Ravan, you are making mistakes. So you are Indra of the Rakshasas. As much as Rama is Indra of the Jivas, you're also Indra, the king, in your own way. Don't take risk. Lord Rama is the Swami of the Jivas, and you are Swami of the Rakshasas. You're also glorious, Ravan. Why do you want to face Ram and bring your degradation and destruction? Don't do that. You'll never be victorious over the supreme good, Lord Ram. He is good personified. You are evil personified. You'll never win him. Then Marichi quoted two instances to warn Ravan about the power and prowess of Lord Rama. He said earlier, when Marichi, along with his companions, had gone to disturb the sages and capture Lord Rama, that time Lord Rama took his bow and just by lifting his bow and throwing an arrow, he threw Marichi 800 miles away. So Marichi got scared. It was one instance. The second instance he quotes, one more time when he went to capture Lord Ram, the second instance, along with his friends, just by lifting up the bow. A similar remembrance Marichi got last time. He got scared, he ran away. And he warned his friend, better don't approach Lord Ram, but he didn't care for. And he achieved Viragati. Good words are used in Ramayana. Viragati means actually he was dead. Shot by Lord Rama's arrows. So from that time onwards, Marichi, all the four directions, he's always conscious whether Lord Rama is coming, Lord Rama is coming, whether he's present. If he's present, he will run away from the place. He's always scared about Lord Rama. Always kept checking all the four sides. And even if he remembers Lord Rama, he starts becoming frightened. And he said, whichever word starts with Ra, he gets scared about. It reminds him of Rama only. The word Ratha. Even though somebody is talking about Ratha, immediately he'll remember Ram. No, better stop. Don't talk. Don't use the word Ra in your entire vocabulary. It reminds me of Ram. And I get scared. Raman said, stop your nonsense philosophy. You have only two choices, okay? Either you'll be killed by Ram or killed by me. Choose and do what you want to do. Either you get Ram to me or you get killed by me. If you think Ram is so powerful, you get killed by him. That's all. You have two choices. No other option. No multi-choice. Multiple options. There's no multiple choice question here. Only two options there. So then Marichi thought, anyway, What is the point in being killed by Ravana? I'll anyway go to hell if I get killed by him. Better be killed by Rama. Therefore, he agreed to become a golden deer and come into the forest during the Vanavasa period and be killed by Lord Rama. That will be glorious death for me, Marichi thought, and he consented to Ravan's proposal of becoming a deer and tried to capture mother, divert Lord Rama's attention. In that way, Ravan would get an opportunity to kidnap Mother Sita. So he agreed, and he was killed by Lord Rama, and he achieved the ultimate destination, moksha. So in this episode also, Maharishi constantly tried to explain Ravan. He is a supreme Lord, supremely powerful. One more instance. Then uh, in Sundarakanda, there's a beautiful instance. As we all know, in Sundarakanda, there's the episode of Hanumanji burning Lanka, and then how uh, once Hanumanji was captured by Ravana's people and brought to Ravana, to the court of Ravana. At that time, Hanumanji told Ravana. First time he's meeting Ravana, that time he said, uh, he started discovering about Lord Rama's glories and power, that he can never gain victory over Rama. He said, you think, Ravan, you can win over Rama by war? Do you know who's Rama? I think you are in complete ignorance. He said, the Chaturmukha Brahma, who has 4 heads, and Rudra, he's got 3 eyes, and such powerful Devatas, and Indra, he's the head of all the Devatas. Brahma with 4 heads, Indra with 3 eyes, Indra being the king of all the Devatas, even all of them always are victorious in any battle only because of the support of Lord Rama. The Devatas never achieved victory without the support of Lord Rama. All that victory is by the blessings and support of Lord Rama. And that Supreme Lord you want to face alone? And you think you will win over him? Impossible. Hmm? And you think you can defeat him? Impossible. Ravan, like that he told. Again, here we see Hanumanji glorifying the Supreme Lord. That is unconquerable. Similarly, if the Lord is with you, instead of making enmity with the Lord, make friendship with the Lord. This is the whole purpose of Ramayana. Why do you want to make enmity with the Lord? With Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, you are a foolish person. It is said, sometimes it is, even in politics, it is said, if the enemy is very powerful to conquer, then don't make him your enemy, make him your friend. Make him your friend, don't make him your enemy. So even from that angle, if you see, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna being the supreme, and anyway they're very merciful, very kind. Why do you want to make become envious of them? Make friendship with them, enjoy life. But the asuras, they're foolish persons as they are. They may be intelligent, but meant for destruction. Dushkritinaha, whatever they do, it may look to be very great, but meant for destruction. That's Ashokavana. Then in Sundarakanda, as the last description I would like to share, very interesting description. This is in Sundarakanda portion of Ramayana. Mother Sita is in Ashokavana. This was after she was being kidnapped by Ravan finally, and she's in the capital of Ravan, and she's in Ashokavan. That time Hanumanji comes to see Mother Sita as sent by Lord Rama, and he sees Mother Sita was very very pleased and blessed. From far away, he has darshan of Mother Sita. He is yet to come near Mother Sita. Just at that time, Ravan enters and approaches Mother Sita. That time, when Ravan approached, so Hanumanji just stopped there. He didn't come. He didn't proceed forward. So then there's a conversation happening between Mother Sita and Rama, like this. So Mother Sita, seeing Ravan approaching her, There was some grass nearby. So he took a piece of grass and then she threw between both of them. So the Acharyas have described very interestingly why did she throw the grass when Ravan came. Actually, because Hanumanji also came, in the Vedic culture, any respectable person should be received with a asana, a nice respectable seat. A good hospitality must be given. So Hanumanji has come. But Mother Sita cannot provide any asana, therefore she threw the grass for Hanumanji as a asana. Now, as far as Ravan was concerned, it was interesting. Ravan said to Mother Sita in the conversation, I will give you anything and everything, any dhana. You name it. You want this treasure, this opulence, this Aishwarya, that Aishwarya, this enjoyable thing, that enjoyable thing, everything I will supply. You become my Rani, Patta Rani. You become my queen. Then Sita Devi said, all of them is equal to Trina. Therefore, she threw that grass in front of him. Then, there was one more reason why Mother Sita threw the grass. The Acharyas have described the inner meaning of this. Acharyas have said, just like you give any good instruction to a grass, how can the grass understand? It is a foolish creature. It is a dead thing. How can the grass grasp? How can the grass grasp any valuable instruction? So actually, she said, my dear Ravan, your brain is also like a busa, no more valuable than a grass, empty brain. So therefore, take this trina. Your intelligence is equal to a dull grass. Nothing in your head. No instruction, good instruction will go into your head. Whatever I say will not go into your head. You're simply mad after me. That's all. Then, further it is described, you may have a lot of strength, but as far as I am concerned, strength and opulence and enjoyable things, as far as I am concerned, I'm not very serious about life. Nonetheless, I will never leave Ram in my life. I'm not serious about anything in life except Lord Rama, my husband. Other than that, I have no value for anything in this world. And because you are leaving Dharma and behind me like a pashu, Dharmena hina pashubi samana. You want to enjoy me, forgetting the Dharma, you're already married. You have a beautiful wife, nice kingdom, and still you want to enjoy me, who is somebody else's wife. Therefore, that is pashu dharma. And among animals, there is nothing like marriage. My wife, your wife, somebody's wife. There's no such distinction among animals. So, because you are behaving like a pashu, and for pashu, what do you feed? Grass, no? Therefore, please take this grass. The one more reason the Acharyas have described why Mother Sita threw the grass in between Ravan and her. She meant when Lord Rama comes finally, she warned Ravan, when Lord Rama comes finally, he will destroy all your palace, riches, opulence, your enjoyment. Everything will be destroyed and smashed to pieces. Nothing, none of these golden palaces will remain. At that time, with this trina, you can make a cottage. You can make a grass cottage and be happy. That will be your end if you try to touch me. So in this way, so again it was described about the glory of Lord Ram, how he is ever victorious, very powerful. The Supreme Lord never faces defeat. So time and again, Krishna, Rama in their incarnations have showed that we take shelter of them, will be fully blessed with all opulence and enjoyable things. But without Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, if you want to enjoy, and furthermore, oppose Lord Rama's Krishna's plan, we will be in trouble. Therefore, let us take shelter of Lord Ram. There's a very nice verse, one line I would like to share and close. It is said, Sakrit eva prapannoyat tava asmi iti ache. Lord Rama said to Vibhishan, because you have taken shelter of me, prayed for my mercy, I have fully accepted you. Any person, even if once he accepts me as his master, I will never let him down. Krishna also told the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita. Once you have accepted me, my shelter, I will never give you up. I will completely uphold you. So Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you so much for your kind hearing. So let us take shelter of Lord Rama on this auspicious day. Take a shelter, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and become blessed. That's why this Hare Krishna mantra, if you see, it is either referring to Sitaram or Radha Krishna, all the same. So the Hare Krishna mantra is very important. Request all of you to take up this chanting wholeheartedly. And remember Lord Krishna, Lord Rama in your life. Yeah. What is the question?
Yes, about Hare Krishna. Ram.
Where is the question? In Mahamantra is Lord Ram. Okay, in Mahamantra is Lord Ram of Ramayana or Parashuram. Very good. Prabhupada was asked by one sannyasi. There were two sannyasis. There was some disagreement about the meaning of Lord Ram as used in the Mahamantra. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, when that, so both the sannyasis, Prabhupada's disciples were arguing that is referring to Lord Rama or Balarama. One sannyasi was saying, no, it is referring to Lord Balaram. One more sannyasi said, it is referring to Lord Ramachandra, Sita Rama. So the matter went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, actually, those who don't know Vishnu Tattva, they fight about on this trivial matter about this Rama referring to Balarama or Kodandarama. Actually, those who know Vishnu Tattva, they know there are three Ramas in history: Balarama, Kodandarama, Sitarama, and Parashurama. All three Ramas are the same. They are Vishnu Tattva. There is no difference. But depending upon your rasa and bhava, you may relate with Sitaram or Balarama or Parashurama. Does not matter. All mean the same. All mean the same. As Gaudi Vaishnavas, of course, we refer to Balaram, but nonetheless, Lord Rama in Hare Rama also can refer to Sitaram. And the Hare refers to Radharani or Lakshmi or Sita. So all are perfectly the same. And Krishna is Krishna, the original Vishnu. So therefore, Lord Rama can refer to all the three Ramas. Hope this clarifies. Any other question? Yeah. One more question, that whether Ravan in Kali Yuga is anger, greed, lust. Actually, Ravan has 10 heads, which refers to 10 bad qualities. So they are anger, arrogance, greed, jealousy, hatred, aimlessness, laziness, misleading, depression, being impulsive in behavior. Like this, they all represent bad qualities in a human being. So, to avoid or to conquer over those 10 bad habits, 10 good qualities has to be developed, which is represented by Lord Rama. All divine qualities. Forgiveness, honesty, humbleness, modest, kindness, etc. So, by taking blessings of Lord Rama, you develop all godly qualities. And if you miss out Rama, then all the 10 bad qualities will engulf our life. Last question of the day. Why only two avatars of Vishnu, Sri Ram and Sri Krishna, are glorified? Very good question. In these two avatars, and particularly Krishna avatara, they being the chief of all avatars, there are many, many qualities of Vishnu which are brought about in the avatar of Krishna and Rama. Therefore, they are specially glorified. And Krishna particularly is the origin of all Vishnu avatars. Therefore, glorifying Krishna is actually glorifying all other avatars, because all avatars are included in Krishna. And many great valuable lessons are taught by Rama and Krishna, particularly to the human society. Therefore, they are especially glorified. So, thank you so much. श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री विजय दशमी महामहोत्सव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.